Let me guess, you are here because you're exhausted from the 24-hour buffet that your child has been getting an unpaid ticket to, and you want to figure out how to know when it's the best time to drop a night feeding. I'm here to teach you all about it. Hi, my name is Sarah Bossio, and I am a certified pediatric sleep consultant and owner of Your Zen Baby Sleep. I have helped over 350 families stop searching and start sleeping. I know that you searched how to know when it's time to drop the night feeding, and that's what brought you here. So let's get you to start sleeping now. So let's talk first about what we need to do before we even consider dropping the night feeding. I want you to go to your pediatrician and I want them to weigh the baby and give you a really good look at them on their growth chart. Are they gaining weight and are they growing on their chart? Yes. Does your pediatrician recommend that the night feeds may need to go away? Of course. And if we're looking at their age, this can happen really at a variable range. So some babies, I know, take a deep breath, not all, do drop their night feeding between 8 and 10 weeks. Some babies hang on to one night feed until 8 months. So it really is dependent on the individual child, but your pediatrician will be able to give you really good medical guidance for this. I also want you to consult with your lactation consultant just to be sure that when you do decide to wean the night feeds, you're doing it in a systematic way that is going to be healthy for your breast milk supply. If you've gotten good clearance from the pediatrician and lactation, or really if it's just in your gut, because that's the most important piece, mama, it is your gut, you know best, that it is time to drop the night feeding, there's gonna be 4 signs that I would like you to look for. Your first sign is if your baby is getting shorter stretches of sleep than they used to. The second sign is that your baby is now getting more night feedings than they had been getting for longer than 2 or 3 days. 2 or 3 days of an increased night feed could be a growth spurt, which is totally normal. If it's been longer than 2 or 3 days though, it probably is a sign that it's time to drop the feedings. Your third sign is that your baby is awake and you know for a fact that they are not hungry, but they will not settle unless you put a bottle or a breast in their mouth. And the fourth sign, your baby feeds, falls asleep at the breast or the bottle, but wakes up as soon as you put them back in the bassinet or the crib. So how do we solve that? There's gonna be 3 ways that we can drop a night feeding. And the way that I established my practice is that I always give my families best practice and what's going to be the quickest and most efficient way to do things. And then I always give them like a mom view or a realistic view, right? I'm a mom of 2, so I know that there is best practice and then there's reality. So let's talk about best practice. Honestly, drop the feedings cold turkey. If you've gotten the approval from all these different people and your baby is showing 1 or more of these signs, it is easiest for them and for you to just drop the feedings cold turkey. If they wake up in the middle of the night and they're looking for a feed and you know that it's not because they need to feed, but it's because they're not sleeping well, it is time to implement some type of sleep training method that aligns to your family's philosophy. Okay, so we wanna go a little more gradual than cold turkey, it's totally fine. The second way that we can try and wean those night feeds is to push the feeding later and later. So if your child usually woke up at 2 o'clock to feed and that feeding became earlier and earlier, what I want you to do is use 2 o'clock as your baseline and push that feed to the first waking after 3. So anything before 3, you're doing some type of sleep training method or other type of soothing. And then at 3, it is okay to feed. And every night you're gonna push that feeding later and later until it gets closest to the morning. And then we know that we've dropped it all together. The last way, and probably the most popular way to wean the night feed, is to gradually wean the amount that we're giving them at the set time that they typically wake. So if you're using a bottle, what I want you to do is on the first night, we normally give them 4 ounces. The second night it's 3, then 2, then 1, and then 0. And then at that point, when they do wake up at that time, I want you to use, again, some sleep training method or alternative forms of soothing to help them back to sleep. If they are breastfeeding, what I want you to do is reduce the amount of minutes that they stay at the breast by 2 or 3 minutes each night until you are at 0 minutes, and then use a sleep training method or alternative ways of soothing to sleep in order to help them transition that sleep cycle. Let's say you've tried this and you are still really struggling. Guess what? That's what I'm here for. I work with families one-on-one to help support them through dropping night feeds and figuring out how to implement independent sleep habits. How do we do that? The first step is for you to go to my website and book a free sleep assessment call with me so I can look at your individual sleep situation and then recommend a support package that will be the best for your family. Again, my name is Sarah Bossio, and I love helping families get the sleep they need. So if you loved this video, please let me know. Press the like button and then drop some questions in the comments if you're wondering how this is going to apply to your individual situation. I'd also love for you to be updated on my new content releases. So be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to be the first to know when I drop my weekly sleep content videos. From my living room to yours, thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time.